excited to be with you tonight. I purposely waited to talk about this with the community. It was important to me that I didn't rush, because there were a lot of people who rushed to meet the need of this topic, and they didn't have all the data. They didn't have all the facts, and some things that were said even 2 weeks ago are now not the case. So it was important that when something new happens that is this radically turbulent, the smart thing to do is to just observe real fast. Don't be the first one, right? So I wanted you to know that it was intentional that we waited until we had some more information. So just in case you don't know, in case you're a guest on this call, which I think you are all a part of this community, we are a part of the fastest growing community for women-owned businesses looking to connect to corporate and government contracts. The reason why I mentioned that tonight is because starting with our business model, first, we have to look at this. When you read those words, we are a community that solely focuses on women businesses seeking to connect to corporate and government contracts. You could look at that and say, uh-oh, Queen City Women in Business is in trouble. So it was important that we stood up and took the authority tonight and had this conversation with you about what is actually happening and what does this mean, okay? So before we get into this, this is really important for me to share this with you. Before I started Queen City Women in Business, I sold to corporations. I was an independent woman-owned business just like you. I had been an entrepreneur for 15 years. I've developed lots of businesses, small businesses, startup businesses, mature businesses, good, bad, and ugly. And I made a name for myself. And I started to understand that I could create my own intellectual property. And if I got smart, I could sell my services, products, and goods. I could package it and I could sell it to corporations. And so 2 to 3 years before I started this company, that's what I did. And here's what you should know. I never did it. Hear me clear. I never did it under the DEI box. The reason I'm bringing this to you tonight is that it is important for you to know that there is a world that always has existed, and there is a world that will still exist where you can sell your services and never even go through the supplier diversity chain. Sarah, I'm looking right at you virtually in the camera, and I'm telling you right now, when I sold my services, I had no idea what a supplier diversity was. This was not that long ago. I'm telling you this for a reason. I'm telling you this because when I started this community, and Taja and people who know me know, I had conflicts many, many nights, because when I created this community, everybody was talking about supplier diversity and DEI, but I knew that there was another way. And so I was in conflict because I personally had not benefited from supplier diversity. And it's important that you understand that, and I'd be honest with you. However, it was still a strategy that women could use. And so I owed it to you to tell you about it. We owed it to you to teach you how to play both games. We always said that there are 2 paths that you should know about. One is the supplier diversity path, which is only a strategy. It is not the only way. The other path is the path I come from. How do you build good old-fashioned relationships? How do you make sure you're in the right rooms? How do you make sure you're invited to the right things? You're in front of the right people. You say the right words. You price it the right way. That was the secret sauce that we were bringing to you. So every single week and through the YouTube, when we were teaching you these strategies, ladies, that's what it was all about. The reason I say this is because I always knew that where they giveth, they can take it away. We always warned our women, yes, you can play the DEI game, but understand there are 2 paths. You need to learn both. Now, everyone is ringing my phone saying, hey, Dawn Nicole, that message, can you come teach us the same thing you've been telling your women on the other path? So let me give you guys a real quick footnote in case you've missed it. On our YouTube channel, there's a ton of YouTube videos right now that I'm sure Danola could find or someone could find because they've become well-versed with the channel. It literally, all summer long, we taught you how to go after corporate contracts outside of DEI. That was me giving you the jewel. Literally the same steps I used to sell. Now, where did I learn this from? Here's the part that's really important, and I'm setting this up so you all can really understand where's Dawn Nicole going with this. The reason I learned these strategies is because someone who doesn't look like me, people who don't look like me, taught me. But I didn't know I was being taught. You see, my background is big consulting. And the reason I bring up the big four consulting firms, and it's important that you all take a note from them. When you think about big four consulting, you think about KPMG, Accenture, Boston Consulting Group, E&Y. Their entire business model relies on independent consulting thinking, almost small business, short of being small businesses. They learn how to sell to bigger clients. So everything that we're trying to do as small businesses, if you've ever been in the consultant world, you get really comfortable, Danita, with like SOWs, and Danola with MSAs. What is that? It's a master service agreement, right? And you start to see $500,000 line items and you don't flinch. So my background came from my time of learning from what I call the big boys who didn't know they were teaching me for a future game. We learned how to negotiate. We learned how to price our offers. So I came and I took all of this and I started winning, and I realized being a consultant for a big four is not that different from women selling their services as small businesses. That's the secret sauce. So I'm sharing that with you to say anyone who's on this call tonight who thinks you need DEI, if you think you need supplier diversity, you've already lost. And that's hard. That's hard for you to hear if you were relying on it. But I'm going to break it down tonight. Tonight I came to educate. And I want you to know that once there wasn't DEI, once there wasn't supplier diversity, and so when it goes, you will still exist beyond it. And tonight, I'm going to show you how. So here's what you should know. Here's the first thing I want everyone to educate themselves. Do not let people talk in circles around you. Know the name and the number of the executive order that impacts you. It is called 14151. Call it by name. Do not be that woman that's just kind of lollygagging, right, where people are telling her. Watch it, follow it. Here's what you should know. The number, every single executive order that started on January 20th has a number associated with it. You all need to see that list. Then it has a name. The name of the one that impacts you directly is ending what is called ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. Now, what does that mean? It basically means that this order, ladies, it aims to end the DEI initiatives, which means the federal contracting that you were competing for under the DEI space, so those big government programs, but they're also looking to end it in the private sector. What's really, really interesting about this, and almost traumatizing to watch, and I want to use my words carefully. Normally, when we see such a huge, turbulent, swift change in our government, it historically comes with the change management plan. That means time to transition, time, Keisha, for you to react, right? Just think about it. Like the new government licenses that they want everyone to get, they're giving you 5 years. Not here. This is the first time in history that an executive order came out so fast that no one had time to react. Even though you had it, you knew Project 2025 was coming. What you didn't know is that the moment they said it was going away then. This created a form of trauma to people watching it, meaning a lot of people are complaining about being vicarious victims to watching it. It's hard to watch it every night. People locked out of their offices, people unsure what to do. It's having an impact on us. So I just want you to know, be careful of how much of this you're consuming, because it is very, very draining and traumatizing, even if you're watching it. That's the first thing. So the second thing I want you to know is that know what the order is, because this particular order was signed on January 20th. It was published on January 29th, and there could continue to be updates. And for the first time ever, ladies, it was immediate. There was no time for transition. There were immediate things. So what's happening is that while you have one side of the fence saying, This can't happen. Congress has to sign off on it. Regardless of Congress signing off on it, there are companies and departments still reacting to it because they don't want to be in hot water. And this impacts you. This will have significant impact on women. On the next page, I'm going to tell you how. Okay, so the first thing is I want you guys to educate yourselves and know the name of this order and the number of the order. That's the first thing. The second thing, I'm going to break down for you in a way that no one else has. Who's going to feel this first? I have some women who felt guilty yesterday on the call, and she said, Dawn Nicole, I'm seeing it, but I'm not feeling it yet. I didn't get a call. I didn't have a contract canceled. I'm still seeing events that I had planned to do. Should I be seeing something? So I'm going to break down for you tonight, literally in logistical order, prioritized order, that these impacts will trickle down and be felt. And it's for you ladies to look at the screen and figure out if and where you fit. So the first group that's going to feel it, and you're already seeing this, are going to be the federal DEI officers and staff. You already saw it. Their jobs are cut immediately. Right? Furlough immediately. Go home. We're done. Office closed. Secondly, the federal contractors who are providing the DEI services. Notice that the first lane are the federal folks. So if many of you ladies weren't working in federal, you weren't tied in federal, you're probably not going to feel it as fast. But here's the second layer. The second layer that's going to feel it are going to be agencies with DEI integrated policies. So these are agencies where their policies use the term DEI, DEIA. They were already having conferences. They're now canceling those conferences. I spoke with a woman yesterday at a major insurance company. I cannot say which one it was. And what she said to me is that we have figured out a way to still do the work, not even calling it DEI and using a completely different methodology, because if the government even suspects that we are calling it by another name, we are under fire, okay? But we also see this impacting union contracts with DEI provisions. So anywhere the word DEIA comes up, or minority women-owned businesses who were benefiting from the policies. So maybe you weren't in control of something, but you got a subcontracting opportunity, or there was a policy written in that you were benefiting from. You may see that your check has been cut off. Thirdly, all state and local programs, and I shouldn't say all, many state and local programs funded by federal DEI grants. Now, if you spoke with some people in December, what they said to us is, hey, these grants aren't going to leave immediately. They're still in the pipeline. The money is still allocated. We're still good. Ride it out. Ride it till the wheels fall off. Until we found out that some of these programs have been paused. So if you were in any of these buckets, you are probably feeling the impacts. So I'm just going to ask, I don't know if that's any of you on the call, but are there any questions about this so far?
Dawn Nicole, I was going to say that as far as with the federal, because I just recently left the federal, that they definitely, that was an impact. We started seeing emails coming, and also they put out watchdogs. So they said that they wanted people to tell on anybody that if there was a DEI program that all of a sudden their name changed within the December timeframe to try to disguise itself. They wanted to know, because they wanted to go after that person, and they gave you an opportunity, if you were head of that agency, to turn yourself in. And if you did not, there would be consequences on that. So yeah, so that was definitely being felt immediately in the federal side.
Yeah, I remember you text me, you were so distraught, Sandy. And right before you joined, I was just saying that, sometimes in political warfare, and I'll just, regardless of what side you're on, because I'm not here to do that, but you can see the effects of the mental distress, and it wears on you. And psychologists were talking about watching the TV and seeing people argue, like that affects you, and seeing people locked out and unsure. And you know what we were talking about is all the government workers who were expecting to go back to work, like the US Department of Education. What are they doing right now? They're not working, right? Their retirement started early, and so it has a lot of emotional impact on us too. And so that's the reason why I wanted to do this call, both to understand the steps forward and just kind of be sensitive to this time frame right now. So Sandy, like I said, I got your text right away, and you were frantic. You were like, "Dawn Nicole," and I was getting a lot of calls that week too. So I understand what you're saying. Okay, so let's talk about it, because so here's what's interesting. When there were stop points to put DEI to bed, there were a lot of people who didn't really understand who's actually in this category. Let's break it down, because you're going to be surprised. And then we're going to talk about why many people weren't benefiting to begin with. So in the DEI category, you have military veterans, check, right? Which used to be a certification. And I'm saying that because we don't know what's going to happen. So that means if you were a business owner, and today I'm going to talk to you, not from the employee side, but the business owner. So if you were a business owner and you were a military veteran, you were considered part of the DEI category. If you were a woman, white, any color, you are part of DEI. In fact, white women won the most contracts out of all these people on the page. This is why some folks, and this is not blame shaming, this is giving you statistics. Some folks are saying, great, DEI can go away. It didn't do anything for me, okay? But it was also for people with disabilities. So I just want you to think about this for a second. These are people who need a wheelchair in some cases, or disabilities that you can't see, because some disabilities are hidden, right? You can't see it. People who need extra time, up the ramp, people with neurological, just all types of disabilities, okay? DEI was also for all brown men. So whether it's Asian, Latino, Indian, all Black men, LGBTQ+. These were all the categories. So if you really look at this, the only category that was excluded was white men. It was for everybody but white men. So and I don't know that everyone understands all the categories. So this is why you're seeing all these TikTok videos and all these businesses where there are some women, right, who are saying, oh my God, this impacted me. And how many of you are seeing the impact of small businesses who were utilizing labor, right, from other countries that are now gone, and that business has to shut down? We're seeing those stories everywhere. If you all remember, in December, we did a similar talk, and we predicted, if you remember, we predicted on that call that that would be one of the impacts of the immigration law. You might not be impacted personally, but if you're workers, if you're in construction or whatever you are in, and you are doing good by people, putting people back to work, everyone is afraid to go to work right now because they don't want to be deported. You don't have a business if you don't have a backup plan. We're seeing this happen. So the question from us should be, okay, so Dawn Nicole, I got a lot of questions here, because the first thing is, what happens to my diversity certification? It's a good question. We pushed all year long last year that we needed certifications. Does everybody remember that? We're still pushing it. So I'll tell you where we are on this. Until we hear something, here's why we're protected as a community, and you are in a protected class. As women, we haven't heard anything yet, but we are seeing a precedent where that could be threatened. And it can be threatened when they start talking about gender neutrality, okay? This is a part of it. So the sex, male versus female. But until they tell us, until the corporations who do business with us tell us, Angel, we no longer accept that, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going until we are told otherwise. Now, I'm telling you that, but let me give you the reality. If all of these categories go away tomorrow, and they likely will, because that's literally what the executive order is saying, reimagine the same picture, we all become small businesses. The labels go away. We all become small businesses who still seek to do business with large enterprises. And what will never go away in America, and mark my words, is there will always be large companies and there will always be small businesses. Now, in case you're not aware of what makes you a small business, it's not the fact that you just started. It's the fact that it's your revenue and the size of your company. That's what makes you a small business. So if you haven't earned over a certain amount, you're still a small business. So what I believe, my prediction with my expertise is that should they eradicate all of the certifications and we have to still be certified as something, we are going to likely be certified as small businesses. So we will still need a certification proving that we are in fact a small business. Any questions on this so far? Because I know we like me, I've got all the certifications in all the sectors. Any questions, any thoughts?
There's a lot of comments in the feed, Nicole.
Great. What are some of the comments?
So I think that Michelle has said, yes, federal employees providing ASL services where deaf employees were let go.
Wow. Impacts.
And then in corporate right now, there is it's creating a massive problem with a white man boys club, and it's being allowed, causing women to leave that environment and be pushed out. And there are lots of consequences.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's definitely a new day. It is definitely a new day. But what I'm getting ready to tell you next is what I've been doing. It's how I survived without a handout. And I want you to still know how to survive beyond DEI. That's the message today. Is this goes away, you keep standing. This goes away, you keep going. I'm going to tell you how. Here's some things that are changing immediately, not tomorrow. It has changed immediately. So number one, I'm going to tell you this. A few months ago, it used to be about who you know. Today, it's about who knows you. We're in a new era of business almost overnight. The second thing that I'm going to tell you is that the things that I'm going to show you tonight, you don't need to wait. You don't have time to wait. If you're in business seriously and you care about staying in business and you really want to navigate this, these are some things and some spaces that I'm going to inspire and hopefully motivate you to do right away. All right. So number one, the first thing I'm going to ask you ladies to do is stay informed. Uh-oh. Can you all hear me?
We lost you for a minute, but you're back.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Okay. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to stay informed. Stay informed of the policies, including the timing. This is important. Keep your ear right to the street, so to speak. Now that you know the number of this executive order, follow it weekly. See how it changes. Understand the timing of it too. Also, I'm going to tell you something about the companies who are rolling back, because there's been all this talk about Target and Walmart and Costco. And every time I put a new list in my book of companies who double down on DEI, I have to keep updating the book because they keep rolling back. Now, here's what you should know. Believe it or not, these companies are scared too. They're worried about legal risk. They don't know what to do. You have to think, this is what I'm saying to you. It's very easy to say, oh, if these companies were for us to begin with, they would just stick with us. It's really easy. It's really easy to say that, right? But at the end of the day, there are some legal ramifications they're thinking about. They're trying to choose between us, you all, and big political, right? And it's a rock and a hard place. It really is. There are some companies who will say that their DEI policy is rolled back, but I'm going to tell you what's actually happening. They're looking for organizations like us to say, hey, we're going to funnel our money and our attention here. I still support small businesses. I still support women. So I just want you to be aware that there will be companies who may say that they've rolled back, but they're looking to redirect those efforts, okay? The next thing, this is the most important thing. Ladies, unlike any other time before, you have got to make sure your business is foundationally sound. We cannot be out there beating the pavement, rah, rah, mad, writing to Congress, right? Complaining if the inside of our house is not sound. What I mean by this is, unlike any other time before, you better know what you offer. This is because in my video, I did a whole video on YouTube that's called 2025 is the year of excellence. And I meant what I said, because I knew if they take away the check and balances, the check boxes, and now you're being measured amidst and amongst your peers, you better darn sure make sure that you mean business. And you don't have to add 25 things to your portfolio to be great. You just need one good thing to be enough. Be good at the one thing you do. So I call that in my book, foundationally sound. Make sure your house is in order. That's actually the first step. And what that looks like is competency. Did you know that competency is stronger than capability? Capability just means I'm able to do something. Here's the things I'm capable of. No, what are you absolutely good at? Right now is the time to bring that to the top. What is it that you do that is formidable, that you know what you know, right? It is your specialty, not your generalist thing, but now is the time for specialty, because now we're competing in a different pond. Number two, your capacity. Should you get the big contract, Teresa, I'm just picking on you, are you able to handle it? You know, the number one thing I hear from our corporate partners, you all, because I'm talking to them monthly, all the partners, they say, Dawn Nicole, I give some of these suppliers the opportunity. I have a local bakery who says, pick me, I can't wait to do this job. We gave her a big job where she had to churn out 4,500 pastries. She almost went bankrupt. This is what I mean when I say capacity. Can you handle this? Do you have the resources to handle this work? And if you don't, one of the things I'm teaching this year goes into number 3. This is my new mantra: build your own ecosystem. Now, let me break down what I mean by this. Up until this moment, most business owners are taught to tap in to someone else's ecosystem, the state's ecosystem. First of all, what is an ecosystem? It is a circle, a community of resources around you. This is my bank. This is my lender. This is my attorney. This is my HR person. This is my grant maker. This is my stakeholder. But you didn't have your own. Most businesses, when we are taught in old school business to start, we go get an LLC or S Corp. We get a logo. Y'all know. You get a website. You get on LinkedIn. You get good at your pitch, and you think you're doing business. And while you might have afforded to show up that way, it is time for you to rethink what business means. It is time for you, each of you. If I'm looking at 20 of you on this call, I'm expecting all 20 of you to have your own independent circle, your own ecosystem. It's a new concept. Find out who can be my attorney. Even if there's nonprofits nowadays who will do it for free. Equip yourself, your chessboard, your ecosystem. You're going to need it. And I know no one is talking to you like this, so you're probably not used to hearing someone say, but I'm telling you now, what's fundamentally happening is you're watching the breakdown of the government ecosystem you used to rely on. That's what's happening. You're watching the breakdown of the local and state ecosystem. So what happens when those go away? If you have your own, if we start to see ourselves as an ecosystem that surrounds us, you'll have value and resources before you need it. Because if you stay ready, you ain't got to what? Somebody tell me. If you stay ready, you ain't got to what?
Get ready.
Thank you. You ain't got to get ready. So I'm giving you a new message today. Build the ecosystem. It is someone in legal. It is someone in banking. It is a credit union. It is someone if you need contract financing, right? So it's a circle. And in my book, I tell you how to do that. You're going to need it. Equip yourself, okay? The second thing, or the fourth thing, is create opportunities. In this new era of business, he or she who survives, the survival of the fittest, is going to be the man or woman who learns how to create your own opportunities. Because ladies, we can't complain about the things we don't control. Hello, do I need to say it for the folks in the back? Hello? We cannot complain about that we do not control. So I'm giving you a new message today. What does that mean, Dawn Nicole? See, I like to be practical because people like to talk, but I like to go deep and tell you exactly what I mean. When I say create opportunities, that means creating opportunities for other people. You probably never looked at yourself before as an opportunity creator. But all of you, as I look at the 19 or 20 of you on this screen, I wonder what your business is. And I wonder how in your own business, Sarah, I'll take you because I know what you do with the strength finders and the strength-based. How can you create opportunities to start with volunteers? If you can't afford to pay people, start by creating a volunteer team. Creating opportunities is about giving other people space in your vision. Now, why is this important in 2025? Because you have to figure out ways to keep yourself relevant, to keep your brand interesting. The new secret sauce is what you can give, like the value that you give. So creating opportunities, start with a volunteer team. Do you all have a small team of ready to go volunteers? You should. Start thinking of yourself as I need volunteers. Secondly, there are programs now, employ people. Now, you're going to look at me crazy when I say give people jobs because you're going to say, I can't afford. And if you think like that, you'll never be able to afford. I know I'm cutting some people today, but you need a new message because we're in a new era of business. When I talk about giving people jobs, give them small jobs. Give someone, a young person, an opportunity to learn under you, part-time, small project, try it out, get used to becoming the employer. Creating opportunities through volunteer opportunities, through employment opportunities, short-term, contract, try it out. You'll get a feel for it and you'll start to want more. You'll get better at it. If you never put yourself out there to lead, you won't. The other thing, everyone on this call right now can create an affiliate program. Now, when I talk about creating opportunities, I'm talking about what you do around your work. I'm not asking you to step outside of your comfort zone. I'm saying that your work has got to be bigger than you in 2025. It's about the community we build in 2025. It's not about, right, who you know. It's about who knows you. The fastest way for people to know you is for you to create value. You create value when we create opportunities through jobs, through volunteer opportunities, through affiliate programs, through giving value. It's a new message for a new day. The other thing I'm going to tell you is it's time for us to start to really develop client relationships on our own. See, before you might have thought that you needed those training wheels called Supplier Diversity. They were just training wheels. You know how to ride the bike. So I'm going to make sure that everyone tonight has the blueprint. I put together a blueprint 6 months ago when nobody was looking. Nobody was checking for that video. It literally says on the video, and Angel, I think you were in that one. Now that it was like one of our masterclass Fridays when I was like, hey, today I'm going to talk about how to get corporate contracts, and this has nothing to do with supplier diversity. I literally laid the blueprint. I even showed them. I was like, here's how you can go on LinkedIn. Here's how you find a whole company you don't even know yet. I literally walked you through how to search, how to follow, how to use the people category to get to who you want, what to say. I literally gave you the script. I had 2 or 3 women come back and say, Dawn Nicole, I did it and I got the meeting. We got to get scrappy. That's what we need to do again. So when I say it's time to build those client developments, to develop those clients, those relationships, that's what I mean, building allyships. And you build allyships, you all. The first thing is if there's a company you want to work with, follow them, study them, find out who are the decision makers, what events are happening. Whether we like what's happening or not, the world is still going to go on. So we have to figure out a way to go on. I'm here to tell you that although it felt good, we got comfortable, we never actually needed supplier diversity. And that's the message you need to hear. I'm not saying that, there aren't people fighting for it, and that's great too. Let the good fight keep going, but you got to keep going too. Okay? Lastly, continue to connect with the community. Now more than ever, right now, we need to know who's down for us. We need to know who has our back. We need to know who's aligning with us. Understand your alliances right now, right? Who are the organizations around you who still support women, who still support your goals? We still support you. But there are other organizations, like, who is supporting you? Who is still trying to help you amidst this turbulent time? Who's still doing the work? We put a post out that said DEI might be gone, but we're still here. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen this year, because y'all know I'm good at predicting, because we predicted in December on our call then, and it was called like Project 2025 Impacts. Some of you were on that call. I think Sandy, you was there. I think Danita, Denote, right? Some people were on that call. We knew that this was gonna be going away, and we knew you would feel the impacts. So here's what's happening now. Our community is starting to get called. The big companies are coming to us, right? And they're saying, hey, we want to do business with your women, right? It's not illegal to say that. We want to continue to support small businesses. We continue to support women. This is why we're bringing on new corporations every single month, because this is happening. So I want to encourage you all, now more than ever is the time you need a community. You need to build that ecosystem. And let's do the work in our own house. Listen, if you were doing something last year and you didn't make any money at it, are you still doing it? Check yours. Do you need to still have that on your thing, right? Like, I think some women get used to the script that they give themselves. I do this, I do this, I do this. My first question is, great, how much money have you made? Do you have any clients? No. Why are you still doing it? So this year, I'm inviting you, inspect your own house, your foundational soundness. Because these companies are showing up and they're looking for excellence this year, ladies. They're not looking for us to half step. They're not looking for the people who do 25 things either. They're looking for the few good things that you can bring to the table. This year, no matter what color you are, no matter if you're male or female, it's about the dollar you can save, the dollar you can make, or the value you can bring. It really boils down to that. And you got to get that succinct in your business. And I don't care how lovey-dovey and how much you love your mission, it's a big dream. Ask yourself, does what I do save money for someone? Does it make money? Does it bring value, change, transformative change? Ask yourself. And if you have things on your roster where the answer is no, why are they still on there? We're not in the season to play around. Playtime is over. They're not playing with us. So we have to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. All right. With that said, and then I'm going to open it up for some questions. Number one, if you are on this call and you are not a member, we want you to sign up to become a member, because now more than ever, you're going to need community. You're going to need women who are rallying around you, continuing to support you like we always have. And what we're going to do, ladies, is we're going to bring those partners to you. We are bringing the corporations to you. They're coming. The next thing is, if you have not signed up for the summit, be at the summit. We have a lot of companies who've already said to us, they're asking me, Dawn Nicole, can I get a list of the women who will be there? Can I get them by industry? We want to see, they're not passively trying to meet you. They're trying to meet you on purpose. That's different. I need y'all to hear me. They're asking me for your industries. Denola, can I just bring up how you just got a call today, right? Didn't somebody call you just randomly with HR? Just
Absolutely did just call me today because of my affiliation with Queen City Women in Business.
And just by being on a call. We were on a random call actually preparing for the summit. And so that's what I'm saying. Show up if you can. The things that we're doing now, they have more purpose than ever. These little time boxes of things we have going on, if you can show up, please show up, because people will see you. We also, true story, and this has to do with Denola again, on the welcome call yesterday, we introduced 2 new corporations. There was a guest on that call. And one of my ladies from the corporation was trying to do business with the guest. And I was like, wait, you got to make them a member, right? Like, that's how hungry so what I'm trying to tell you all, we're living in a different era. This is not November. This is not December. The world just changed overnight. Keep up. Like, this is a different era. We're living through the change right now. So this is why I'm bringing this message to you, because I really, really want to see every last one of you win. I started this company because I believe in you. I believe in women businesses. Before I did this as a business, I was this type of friend. I would have introduced you as a friend. I was the girlfriend who was like, girl, let's go. Where's your lunch? Like, I had on the cheerleader. That was me. That's why this is my business today, because it was first my passion. I still care. So every single time I get a call that one of you got a contract, I get a little emotional. My husband says, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't know. I just like, it's like I'm winning. But I do that with Shark Tank too. Like, when people win, I'm like, yes, we won. And it's not me. Anyway, I digress. Join the community, because this year I'm fighting for you all harder than ever, because I know it's hard out there. Sarah, I do not want you to have to go back to work. I believe there is a world that exists where you can be fruitful and successful. We just have to change our strategy. We can do it. But ladies, it starts with belief. We believe we don't need the training wheels. We thought we did. We don't need them. We can ride the bike. We're good. And so that's the message. That's the whole message. We got this. We got to believe in each other. We have to come together. And now more than ever, we have to really build and formulate a community. And I know it's hard because there's a lot of political warfare happening. But right here, we're still a community. And with that, that's my time. I will say this. The new book is coming. The new book will give you the blueprints to the things that I just said. So if you're like, Dawn Nicole, I heard what you said, but how do I check my foundational? I have the 7 commandments coming in the book. It literally is a checklist. So you can write, because y'all know I believe in action and checklists. It's a checklist. Dawn Nicole, how do I create opportunity? It literally tells you how. I'm actually helping my husband do the same, because he was like, I need to hire, but I don't know. I was like, let me help you with the same strategies I'm teaching the women. You can do it. I just hired 2 people full-time, ladies, in this environment. I have no idea, right, what I'm doing, but I'm doing it because I believe that I can. You have to believe. I believe that it will be successful, and so it will. And I'm telling you to have that same belief tonight. And with that, that is my time. I want to turn it over to you all. I want to hear from you. Taja, as our chapter president from Indiana, who lives here now, we would like to hear from you as well. So if you want to come off mute and share any words, I know that Taja has shared with me over and over that the women in Indiana are facing a whole different set of things, because it's in your face and it's all around you. So Sandy, I know that you have a question. You can come off mute if you like.
I just wanted to say that I put in the chat those 3 videos from YouTube that you talk about with the link in, so that they can see those strategies and be able to pin them.
Oh, I really appreciate that. It really works. If you watch it and pause the video, watch it and be like, okay, and anchor it against your goal. It really, I've done it. That's why I'm teaching it. I'm never going to teach you something I haven't done, but other women have come back and have said it works for them. So other questions, comments in the chat, questions, thoughts, Taja?
Yes. So thank you, Dawn Nicole. I just want to reassure, not every state is experiencing the same level. I want the women of Indiana to know that I continue to stay definitely active and involved in what is happening there in Indiana. I was just on a call even today, trying to make sure that we build alliances together to address how it is impacting the state of Indiana. More to come. But I just wanted you guys to know it's not falling on deaf ears. You do have an advocate. You have an agent that continues to fight for you and will make certain that we stay at the forefront.
Thank you, Taja. I'm going to clap, because this is the thing that I want to say tonight, ladies, is that before all of this, we were already doing this work for you. And that's why we're not completely knocked off of our game. That's why when some of our competitors called or certain organizations called and said, what are y'all doing? I said, we're doing what we've been doing, right? Because what y'all, especially in Indiana, Taja, who knew that this was coming, because Indiana was getting early warning signs. Taja was pushing harder. She was trying to fast track contracts and RFPs, and like we've spent a lot of time reviewing things. So I just want you all to know we're committed to the work. I think the message for tonight that you all need to hear is, although the world might change, our why hasn't changed. Our mission is not changing. You are still first. You are still critical and important. If we have anything, first of all, I'm not going back to work. So I'm going to keep doing this work for you, and we're going to keep working together because we can, right? And so I just wanted to share this message with you all tonight to let you know it is going to be all right. I know it's hard. I know that we've had no time to adapt to this change. It feels like turbulence overnight, but we're going to be okay. We're strong. We're business owners. We're entrepreneurs. We're cut from a different cloth. We will get through this together. All right. Melissa, you have your hand up.
I do. I just wanted to offer one tip to help with the overwhelm of all the information.
Yes.
One thing that I do is in the evening, after everything kind of slows down a little bit, I go directly to the whitehouse.gov website and I look at the executive orders, read up on it, see what's happened. I don't really get mixed up in all of the news and all of the opinions because it gets to be overwhelming.
Yes.
So if you're someone who needs to manage your peace, like I do, and deal with overwhelm and all that stuff, that's a good way to manage it. And then once you have the information, you go and you do your research from there.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Said perfectly from Peace, Origins of Peace, right? Which is Melissa's company, right, Melissa?
That's right.
Origins of Peace, yeah. Awesome, awesome.
There's a comment that you probably need to hear.
Yes.
Teresa says, there are no words that can adequately express my gratitude for your courageous commitment to me and everyone in this community.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. So you know what? That means, Teresa, don't make me cry. Don't you do it. I'm on YouTube. Don't do it. These eyelashes. But you know what? Y'all know I love you guys. I really do. And I do this because I just really believe in us, because I know women, we don't get chances. Like I said, before it was a business, I had girlfriends who had businesses and they were like, "Dawn Nicole, I just need to get in the door." And so we're going to continue this fight, Teresa, but we're going to do it together. And we're going to, teach women what they need. We're going to bring them the tools that they need, and we're going to keep going. And I believe you all can. Because there are some businesses, and I put this in my story, in my book, there are some businesses who happen to be businesses that were minority, who refused to ever wear the DEI tag. There's a whole story that I put in this book that's coming, and let me know if y'all want the book, where I talk about how I was shocked to see this multi-million-dollar Black business that I looked up to, that I was like, hey, and I couldn't wait to get a meeting with him. And I went and pitched him, Queen City Women in Business, you can work with our women when you do these big consulting things. And he looked and he kind of laughed a little bit and said, and almost like, that's cute. And I said, what? I didn't know what I had said wrong. And he said, Dawn Nicole, I'm going to be honest with you. As a Black man, I prefer not. This was a year before this happened, and I was shocked. I didn't have a comeback. He said, I prefer not to get rattled or wrapped up in DEI, in supplier diversity. He said, I don't even want my name associated with it. And I said, why? And at the time I didn't know, because I was just starting this work for us. I didn't know. And what he told me though, he said, the reason why, he said, my problem with it is that the moment you become a supplier diversity business, a checkbox business, you stop being the best business for the job. He said, I'd rather be the best company for the opportunity than a DEI bit, right? And so he preferred not. And I would hear more stories like this along the way. So I always knew that there were two views on this before this all happened. Regardless of where you stand, we're here now. And I just want you all to know that there is a path possible to you, but we have to believe, we have to keep going, and we will together. All right. So
okay, Dawn Nicole,
yes,
you have opened the door. Everybody wants the book.
Yeah. The book, I'm so excited about the book. I have learned writing the book. So the book is coming, you all. It will be available before the end of February, and it will also be sold at the summit. I will make sure that everyone on this call gets the book. Okay? Awesome. Michelle, you have a question? Yes.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi,
Good
Michelle.
evening, everyone. So grateful for this time. First thing I wanted to remind everyone, did you put on YouTube the virtual town hall back in December? I wanted to recommend that everyone go back to that video. That was epic, Dawn,
Yes.
when you hosted a panel of people talking about what's going to happen, what could happen after the elections. And the election results had just come out, and people, it was just after the Thanksgiving holiday. And I think it was on December 4th. So I was just looking through my email trying to find it. But I wanted to remind everyone to go back to that video, because you also talked about opportunities. And so if I may quickly say, my background is library research. I help small business owners look for data that they might need. The name of my business I'm still working on, and I thank Dawn, is called Business Data Friends. So we're sort of your ally in alignment. We're just trying to find information that will help you either scale or get clarity about a decision that you might need to make with the use of library research and databases, things that you may not have time for. So speaking of, if you go to several web pages on the US government today, as many of us librarians are doing, you will see error 404 not found. And just this afternoon, I attended a meeting with journalists, librarians. There is a whole coalition and university personnel all getting together and the Internet Archive to literally harvest government websites that people went to and needed statistics. If you're a nonprofit that's looking for statistics about youth behavioral risks, where are you going to go now? We are looking at trying to figure out how to get people together. The Internet Archive, it's all based on donations. It's just people who are sending them links to archive pages. And so people are, I just wanted to put that on people's radar, is that the things that we depended on the government, even little things, quote unquote, things like statistics, case studies, data. I loved data.gov. You could see SOPs and all sorts of background information about organizations that you may want to contract with or work for, or have them hire you, that sort of thing. Some of that is going away. So people are looking for ways to capture that information. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you, Thank you for that, Michelle. And one thing I'll just a quick plug. This month, ladies, and I know we're right at 1 minute, but this month we have Contract Clinic like we do. It's brand new, but it's every fourth Friday. And our feature is Michelle, who's going to talk about some behind the scenes data things that y'all do not know we should be using as a part of our strategy. Like when we think of librarian, we think of the old school summer school book, library card. That is completely false, right? That is not what it's about. Many of the libraries now are working in alignment with businesses to get them strategic data that moves the needle. So Michelle is going to be featured. Her new company she's not new to this, but she's starting a new company with this. Let me be clear. Was it Harvard? A Harvard librarian? Is Princeton or Harvard?
Yes.
Harvard. Okay.
It was Harvard.
So that we can understand how to use the librarian system and librarians and other things to win in our business. And so Michelle's going to help us with that. Awesome. Ladies, I am at the end. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to give 1 more minute. How do you feel? Even if you don't have a question, how are you feeling right now? Just a pulse check. We good? We all right? We're feeling good? Keisha, you feeling all right? Yeah. I'll take it. Good. Awesome. Ladies, thank you. Have a wonderful night. We're going to be all right. Get ready. Stay ready so you got to get ready. And with that, God bless and good night. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.